how will time management help you be successful? Okay, I think that this is a great question, and it's something I think maybe they touch on in schools. I was trying to think about that earlier. If that was, I know, obviously it's deadlines and schedules and that sort of a thing, but I think that in my education, uh, they didn't touch on what I think to be one of the most important areas that I think you learn as an adult and maybe as a kid now. I just don't recall this, but it's one of the single most important things I like about time management, how it can help you be successful, is by making you trustworthy and dependable. And I don't think that, I think that a lot of people underestimate this. And by that, I mean, for example, I've had hiring conversations have come up both in the past and recently, and we've said, okay, we have two candidates or two people. Person A over here has done an extremely good job, but they missed a few deadlines, and they just kind of like no-showed one time. And then we've got this person who's shown, person B, who's done a good job, no major issues, but they've showed up. They may not be the next expert in the field, but they show up. They're on time. They complete their tasks on time, and they've been very communicative. Well, to me, that's a no-brainer. I want that person who is trustworthy and who's good with their time and knows how to manage their time, because we can teach or hopefully show them how to do the rest. But the people who are not able to be good with time management, that really impacts more than just themselves, and starts to show. So there's kind of two ways you can look at that. And one is, looking at yourself. And I think that that's important too. Do you want to be that type of a person who's good at time management, who's dependable, who's trustworthy, who people know they're going to get done and they'll have the time to do what they say they're going to do? And then also, people you work with or you hire, what kind of person do you want? Secondly, I think that it's going to make you and your projects you work on more stable over time. Like anything, project management, cost estimates, whatever it is, anything you're doing, this takes time. You don't just apply some of these tactics I'm going to talk about in a minute and instantly become more successful with your time management. But over time, you develop these skills. And I think that that's really important as well, because this feeds into your overall productivity, right? If you're able to be a lot better about managing your time, managing your project's time, and you get better at that over time, then you're going to have less of those instances where, for example, your project ended up taking too much time, or you're really underestimating what you need to accomplish these things. All right, and then third item, I think, about how time management can make you successful, it's by being able to help yourself and those around you with lower stress levels, okay? There's always projects where, hey, there's some last minute stuff, you got to put out a fire, you got this and that, but, there's definitely some serendipity here where, the people who work on their time management skills tend to have less issues like that. Surprise. And, some of that is luck, but some of that is definitely, it's coming to those people who put in the time on working on their time management, and they have less stress because they're putting in that time and saying, okay, I'm working on my time management skills so that my projects, finish within the allotted time. I'm able to estimate correctly. I plan my day out so that I'm not freaking out and dealing with these wild swings and these, getting sideswiped by all this stuff. And then that byproduct is direct in the sense that just people being around you will probably be less stressed. And then if people report to you or you manage people, then, of course, you're directly influencing them. So I think that that's important. So to build on that, though, let's talk about some of the common time management tools. And again, I'll talk about the daily review and scheduling. I think that this is really important. This is the first step you could take. And if you do nothing else in your day, that this greatly helps you. Taking that time to prioritize your tasks after you've kind of gotten everything in from whatever it is, Todoist, Evernote, whatever you use, your notebook. Okay, and going through prioritizing, scheduling, making sure everything jives with your calendar and is good to go. All right, so getting in the habit of doing that is really important. Okay, I mentioned it, use to-do lists. Obviously, whether it's, I don't care if it's a sticky note or if you've got your best self journal, whatever it is, using a to-do list and getting better about that and finding out what works for you is really important. Also using the calendar, very important if you're involved with any sort of interactions with other people. That's probably important to use your calendar. I think that this is great for time blocking as well, and this helps you get better about estimating how long it's going to take you to do something. So an example from myself is on Thursdays I need to edit articles, and before I just had a time block for working on a specific business. However, now I need to edit articles from 2 companies, And so I need to start re-looking at how I schedule that out, because it's in my calendar, but it's not yet broken out. And so what I want to do is use that and say, okay, I've done it for 2 weeks now. I understand that this is going to take 45 minutes to an hour. So I don't actually have a 2.5 hour time block. I have 45 minutes of editing, and then I've got the remainder of the time for whatever else it is that I need to be working on. Some other tools you can use specifically for this, besides your calendar, is Focuster. And if you haven't checked that out, there'll be a link available for that. It's a really cool service. It's a task management app that integrates both ways, I guess, is how I would say it, with your calendar. So like with Google Calendar, it'll tie into your calendar. You'll go in and type in a task, and it'll find the next available time for you to do it, which is pretty cool. All right, also, just avoiding distractions, okay? This is a pretty easy to implement, but basic but very effective time management tool. If you have, say, for example, a 2-hour time block, then, put down the chat apps. You're probably not supposed to be using them anyways when you're supposed to have a 2-hour time block, so do that. Help yourself. Grab your phone, put it out of reach, put it in the other room, put on some headphones if you can, all right, and then get the most out of that time. Another little tip that I use to get the most out of my time and then to accomplish the things that I want, okay, again, going back to the idea of a time block, is to write out what I want to do beforehand. And that's literally what I do on a Post-it note. So I'll sit down and take a minute or two, and let's say I'm going into a 2 or 3 hour time block, I just write down what it is, what are the top 3 to 5 priorities I've got, or little tasks, and then go after them. And start at the top and work your way down. And that helps clarify it, make sure that you're not missing anything, but then also will help you estimate better. I just did one block where I was talking about editing the articles, and I ended up only having enough time to do 2 of the remaining 4 items. So now moving forward, I can go back and say, okay, if that's the amount of time I have, then I need to change the process around, or I need to give myself more time, and over time, that'll become more accurate. All right, just to go back on another one about avoiding distractions, I think that this one's also really important. Do not leave your email open. Okay, this has to do with like the chat apps as well, whether it's Slack, Skype, GChat, whatever. But do not leave your email open. Check it at set times throughout the day. I personally try to do this twice. I'm not saying I never go into my email. A lot of times I either need to retrieve some information or whatever it is. But once I'm out of there, I close it. Okay, and it's a skill that I'm still working on, definitely. But I try to do that, and then at the end of the day, I don't do this all the time. I try to stay out of it as much as I can, but I'm normal, and I certainly don't think anyone is going to just ignore their email. But until the mid-afternoon, then I just really do try to keep it closed and not open. And I found that to be really effective. And then the other thing you can do with emails is to segment your email. So if you're a Gmail user, or just about anyone nowadays has filters you can set up. So you could say, emails from Amazon, go into an Amazon folder, and at the end of the day, maybe you look at those and say, hey, is there a sale on I care about? But you don't want that stuff in front of your face at the beginning of the day. And so that when you do go into your inbox, you're only seeing the ones that are important and then you might need to respond to. So hopefully that's helpful. I think that time management can certainly make you more successful. Like I said, by making you more trustworthy and dependable, it's going to make you and your projects more stable over time, and then help yourself and those around you to just have a lower stress level, which is just going to help you in all sorts of ways. Thanks for watching. You can stay up to date by subscribing right there. If you'd like to come join our free Facebook group about process, automation, productivity, all that good stuff, you can do that right there. Just answer the few quick questions and you'll be in.